Welcome back to Rich Words Music, where today I'm in Karlsruhe in Germany with Uwe from Tonfuchs.
Hello, Rich.
Yeah, nice to have you on the channel.
Welcome.
Thanks for inviting me here to your little workshop. And thanks for letting me do a review of this bad boy here, the Dyna. Yep. As some of you may have seen, I had the guitar, the Tonfuchs Dyna, on my channel. I did a big test of it. I played a bunch of riffs on it. I did lots of stuff with it. I had it for a few months, tested it out in different situations, and I loved the guitar. And I thought I would come here and talk to you about it, talk about Tonfuchs, the company, talk about your history as a guitar builder, and maybe get the story behind this specific guitar. So
yes.
Let's yes, quite simply. So let's start then maybe by asking you about Tonfuchs. What does the name mean for you, and where did it come from?
My family name is a bit complicated, also in Germany. So it's called Schoelch, and everywhere I did a phone call and they asked me, "What's your name?" I said, "Schoelch." What? Schoelch. Can you spell it? Okay, so the most luthiers put their last names on the headstock, but for me it was clear that's a problem. And a friend of mine, we made a party, I don't remember, and drank a lot of beer, and he called me, "You're the Tonfuchs." So because I'm working with tones, and a fox is well known here as a clever animal. So if you would like to say you're a clever guy, you say you're a fox. And
Schlauer Fuchs.
yes,
right?
yeah, right. And so I said, okay, why not? I don't want to search for a name for my guitars the next years. I call it Tonfuchs. That's it.
Yeah, and you never felt it's a bad thing not to have Schoelch on the headstock for the ego or anything like this?
No, I was the first years. I have to tell another story. Is a friend of mine. He got a company called, and they do PA sound engineer thing, and the company is called Klangfarm. And he always said, "Oh, that's such a terrible name." And even when somebody is calling on the telephone, said, "Yeah, Klangfarm." And so I had the same problem with Tonfuchs, but now I'm common with this, so no problem.
Yeah. Well, I also know a couple of other German brands who have maybe not the most practical names for international guitarists. Yeah. The most famous would be Andreas Kunz, who makes Kunz acoustic guitars. Yeah. One of the greatest builders, but when you see it for the first time as an English-speaking person, you're like, okay, really? Yeah.
I know, he got a lot of problems with this.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But also a lot of publicity. For better or for worse, maybe. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Okay, so Tonfuchs, that's one question answered. And tell me about the history of the brand, because I heard you've been building since the mid-90s pretty much, but Tonfuchs is only 10, 15 years old?
It's 15 years now. I started with as an autodidact. I don't know if I...
Self-taught?
Yeah, self-taught. So I built my first bass guitar in 1994. And 2 years later I started an education. After 3 years I was a stringed instrument luthier. It was 1999. And then I made some custom builds for some people and repair jobs. Then I worked a few years for Nikuba, from 2001 to 2006, I guess. And in 2004, a friend of mine came by with a jazz master copy from a Eastern Germany company. So a really cheap guitar, but it looks pretty funny, and but it was unplayable. So he asked me, "Can you do something that I can use it in studio or for live?" I did my best, but it was not 100% that good. And so he asked me, "Can you build me something like this, so with the look and the feel, but something that works?" And so I started to make the first Bulldog model. It's a copy of a copy, if you like to say this. And a lot of people said, "Oh wow, what's that? You have to do more." And so I thought about it. Okay, maybe. And I was building 6 guitars more. And I went to the music messe in Frankfurt in March or April 2005, and that was the original start of Tonfuchs.
And was that the moment when you realized you can make this a career as a professional thing, or were you all still thinking of yourself as like a hobby, a guy just having fun?
No, I learned. For me, I did the education, so it was totally clear that I want to earn my money and I want to live from guitar making or repair jobs, whatever. And you always think about getting famous with your brand and with your products. So even when you play music or you have a band, you always think about how it could be when you're a famous guy, you know, and everybody loves what you do. So yeah, of course, I thought about it, but it was not the big plan to get a big company and make a lot of money. Or I never wanted to be a second Paul Reed Smith or something like that.
Sure. Yeah, and at the moment you're pretty much building everything on your own. For you guys watching this, I'll take a few pictures of Uwe's workshop here and blend them in just so you can see it's quite a small space which you work in, and at the moment you're very happy with this size, right? You don't want to make it a massive company or anything?
No. I want to keep it in a healthy. It's amount, not amount. A healthy. Eine gesunde Größe. Yeah, amount. So, so I'm think about getting another room like this here inside the building, because I have another workshop in where I come from. Yeah. And there is the 80% of my wood storage is there, and I want to keep it there because my parents are next to it, and so it's always nice to have something to do there, say hello to my parents. Yeah, but I'm happy with it.
Yeah, sure. Let's talk about that wood stock then, because on the guitar which I had, for example, I believe there's some pretty old Honduran mahogany on it, and we went upstairs to the little wood stock that you have up here. I'll take some more pictures as well of that, but you have some pretty cool wood here. What's the story behind how you get that wood, and also how you choose the woods for the different guitars?
Since now 6 years, I'm collecting wood wherever I can, and if I have a little bit of money and I can afford some woods that is available, I buy it. So I have, and over the years I got some serious nice connections with some people, but these people are not related in the guitar market, so they work with a big industry. So I have one guy selling wood to a BMW for the interior thing. So I always, if I buy wood now from a dealer, I always buy a whole log, for example. So this is part of a complete mahogany log that I bought, and when they have something for me, they always call me and say, I have this or that, is it interesting? Because a lot of things are for them are like waste, you know, because the big companies they want always the same quality, the same look, and sometimes there's a log, they buy a whole bunch of mahogany, for example, and one log is not good enough because it looks different or the color is different. But for me, it's no problem. If the weight and everything is okay, I try to buy it. And also a lot of private persons are contacting me and said, I have this, is it interesting for you? in July I bought the last one from a priest. And because his grandfather got an old woodstock with alder and some maple woods, and so I drove to his home, and he showed it to me, and I said, okay, what's the price? I take it all. So I have also some woods that I don't use, Cibrano or Wenge. Anyway, I buy it. If I find wood or somebody is telling me I have something, I try to get it.
Is it getting harder these days to find good woods? Yeah.
Yes. Because of a lot of reasons. The first thing is that the mahogany, for example, the Honduran mahogany, is listed in the CITES. It's not the first. It's not like Brazilian rosewood or ivory, but it's the second row of this paper. And to find the quality, so you need a big tree. If you want to have a one-piece body, for example, that's more and more difficult to get these qualities of woods.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about the neck woods? This is ebony, isn't it?
The fretboard is ebony, yeah.
Is there problems with ebony? I know companies like Teles do a lot in terms of sustainability and woods like this. Does that impact you as a smaller builder?
The quantity is the problem.
Yeah.
So I make, for example, approximately 30 guitars a year. So I have no problems with wood. You can get everything. It's a question of how much is the cost for it. And especially with ebony, you have the problem that the violin makers, they love the black, the real deep black material.
Yeah.
And that's like this maybe.
Yeah, this is pretty dark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is a problem to get these qualities, and it's getting more and more expensive. You know, so let's say 20 years ago, or you pay, or I try to explain it the other way. Today, for a fretboard like this, you have to pay 20 times more than 20 years ago. So it's everything is getting more expensive, more expensive. The mahogany, for example, in the last 4 years, the price has 2 times doubled.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Or in the last 5 years, I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that, I suppose, that impacts you a lot as a builder. But it also, I guess, is it hard for the customers to understand that the prices go up because of these issues? I mean, I guess for you it's okay because you're building custom guitars, but for companies who are mass producing instruments with these woods, they have problems, right?
They have problems. So, for example, I heard that Fender is trying to get away from swamp ash.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yes, because it's the special thing with swamp ash is it only grows in around New Orleans. In the swamps, and only the maybe 2 or 3 meters from the ground are the light is the light material. The rest is like ash from here, and it's getting more and more expensive because a lot of people and a lot of luthiers and companies want to have light swamp ash, and now it's really rare. And Fender is, I think. They don't pay the same price than me, but it's an argument for production like they have. If a body, for example, got the double price, so you have to think about alternatives. So it's the same happened with as they changed from rosewood to pau ferro.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, or PRS, for example. They can I say PRS and Fender? It's okay. Yeah?
I suppose so.
And they changed the production from Honduran mahogany to African mahogany, Sipo or Sapelli, and they told that they're about research and development, and now they find out that the African mahogany sounds much more nicer than the Honduran. But the thing is, it's difficult to get big trees, big logs in good quality. And from Africa, it's much more easier. They have a lot of Sapelli or Sipo, and it's much more expensive to glue a body with two pieces, because you need a guy who is doing that job. It's much more easier to pay a few euros more for a one-piece body, but you save a lot of work you have to do instead when you use a two-piece body.
Yeah, sure.
So, and PRS is always working with one-piece bodies.
Is this also something you prefer to do, if you can?
If I can, yes, but it doesn't affect anything to the sound. So if you use a one-piece body, it does not sound better than a two-piece or three-piece. Yeah. It's only much more work.
That's an interesting comment, because there is always a lot of commentary about this on YouTube and places like that. You'll see people saying, okay, if you buy a $300 guitar, you're going to get a 5, 6, 7-piece body maybe, and that can't sound as good as a single piece of wood. Yeah. What's your thoughts on this whole debate?
Sometimes I use, especially with Swamp Ash, I use 3-piece bodies. When you say cheap guitars, 300-400 euro guitars, they are always made in Far East. So in China, for example, or Indonesia or wherever, the cost for workers are much lower than here. Yeah. So it's a funny thing that, for example, at a 300 euro Takamine acoustic guitar, you find a bone nut. And if you buy a Gibson with 6,000, 7,000, 8,000 euros, there's plastic saddle on it, because it's in Asia. You can do it because the guy who's doing it is not that expensive than a guy in the US or here in Europe, and so sometimes you can compare it, because that's a difficult thing for me to explain. The cheapest guitars actually have the biggest amount of handicraft on it, because if you look at Taylor guitars, for example, this is completely automatic, and machines are polishing the guitars and CNC routers, so there's not so much handwork on every instrument. In Far East, it's a lot of handiwork.
Yeah, exactly. And this guitar, for example, this is almost exclusively your handwork, right?
Yes.
From start to finish?
From start to finish.
I'll give it to you. Can you tell us the story of how this guitar was built?
Especially this one?
Yeah, why not? Well, I guess this is the same process as every guitar, right?
It starts with a body plank and a neck plank. Everything okay?
Yeah, we all good. Carry on.
That's a one-piece body, and that's the Honduran mahogany. That's an old one. I have to say that the Dyna model, this double cut, was the first guitar model I wanted to do with my own company, but it never happened because my friend came with a Jazzmaster copy, yeah. And so I did a lot of bulldogs. It was, I guess, the third model I put in my program, and the first ones they didn't have that armrest, and I guess the belly cut was already anyway. What do you have to say? What is your interest about this guitar?
I want to know, just upstairs we were looking at pieces of wood.
Yeah.
I want to know how you turn those pieces of wood and the pieces of metal here into this. What's your process, and how long is it taking you?
How long it is? That's it depends on how complicated the guitar is. So if you have bindings, if you have inlays, that's much more work than this one. That's a pretty simple guitar, like a Les Paul Junior. So it starts with a body blank, a neck blank, and a fretboard. First step is to calibrate the thickness of the body, also the thickness of the neck. Next step is at the pin router. I do the contour, the outlines, and of course the neck pocket, the pickup routings, cavity over here. Next step is doing the belly cut and all the shapes. And then it's sanding. If everything's nice, smoothly, well sanded. Next step is with the neck, doing the truss rod channel, gluing the fretboard on. Then I do the radius on the back side of the neck.
By hand, right?
It starts also with a pin router. I do it roughly, so that I have. It's not like so it's rounded. It's pre-rounded, and the rest is made by hand. So also some customers have extra, which they I do regularly a little V in the higher range, and some people don't like it. So that is. The rest is made by hand, so the final shape. Then gluing the a veneer. In this case, some guitars have that, some not. Doing the next step is doing the radius for the fretboard. It depends on the radius from the bridge, which is here a wraparound bridge, so it's a 12-inch radius. Doing the frets in, preparing the frets, preparing the edge of the fretboard, drilling some holes inside for the machines, sanding, lacquering. Is it lacquering? Coating? So it's many hours, I guess. I'm not sure. It depends on each model, but it starts at, I guess, 30 hours. But it's only just it's not cleaning my workspace or adjusting the machines. It's just only the real work time.
The time where you have your hands on the product.
Yes. Step by step.
Yeah. Are there any steps that you don't like doing, or is it always a labor of love, building from start to finish?
A lot of people thought, because when you saw there's this little documentary, a lot of people thought that I don't like sanding. It's the truth. I don't like it, but I have to say, it depends on how many instruments I do. If I work only on one guitar, everything is fine. But if you do 5 guitars at the same time, you have to do the 10 little holes here. So it's like a factory production. So for my taste, and then I don't like the sanding process.
Okay, interesting. Just about the documentary, for those of you watching who are German. It was a documentary for SWR, wasn't it? A local TV station. I'll put the link down there so you guys can watch that. Very interesting video. For you who don't speak German, you won't get too much from it apart from the nice pictures.
Turn off the volume and...
Turn off the sound and just watch it anyway. Yeah, exactly. Was there a specific story or idea behind this guitar, or is this one of the standard Dyna models?
That's one of the standard models. I don't have really a standard. It's basically the outlines are the same. The pickguard is nearly always the same.
Yep.
But then it starts to be customized. Every guitar. I have not one guitar that it's exactly like another.
Yeah. So everyone is unique in some way, even though you have the 4 standard models.
Yes.
Every one of those models is a little bit different.
Yeah, every guitar I make is a little bit different.
Yeah.
Because if it's only the bridge or the color or you have inlays or not, this is I don't have another one that it's exactly like this.
Yeah. Did you ever build a guitar and then realize, oh shit,
Yes.
I can't. There's more.
Yeah.
Did you ever realize, oh shit, I can't let this guitar go to the customer? This guitar is almost perfect and I have to keep it for myself. Did that ever happen?
Oh no.
So you have like a disconnect from the guitar during the building
In
process.
the first years it was really hard to let them go away.
I can imagine.
Yeah, but now I only want the money. And no, I don't have a problem. I'm happy because most of my guitars are most of the guitars are played by the customer. So some of them I know they are not played very often. I have a customer. He's a collector, and he got a private museum. So I know he don't play them. But anyway, it's but the most guitars are really, or my customers are 80% are players, and they use them, and that's fine with me.
Yeah. So tell me about the average Tonfuchs customer. Is there an average profile, like an average age or musical genre, or do you get a whole wide range of people?
I have it's a big range. So okay, what I don't have in my customerhood is the hard metal fraction. So that's mostly I do. It's the most instruments have a kind of vintage appeal. I don't know, but it's from jazz to rock to blues. Different people play these guitars, so there's no average customer.
Yeah, and you told me earlier before we started recording this that you've had someone as young as 14 specking a custom guitar with you.
Yeah,
which I think is a pretty cool way to start your guitar journey.
It was a stock guitar. I got this also was a stock guitar. So 70% of my work is built to order, and the other 30% I make guitars like I would do it. And so this one and the other one that the guy bought, it was a stock guitar, and he was 14. But it's a long time ago, 10 years, and 2 years ago he bought his second guitar, but he ordered it, so it was a custom-made guitar. And he's not 14 anymore, he's mid-20, like this,
And still playing the original,
yeah, of course.
Well, that's like a lifelong acquisition, isn't it, when you order a custom guitar like this?
You don't. I think you don't. But it's not a. I make instruments and no financial investment things, you know. And the most of my customers don't want to sell it again, especially when you order a custom instrument. So I want to keep it for the rest of my life because it's something really special. I make it just for these guys, and they are waiting a long time for it, and I hopefully they are happy for a long time, and I don't think that you buy or you don't want to get a custom-made guitar to sell it 5 years later. So.
What is the average wait time when someone orders a guitar with you?
At the moment, about 8 months.
8 months, okay. And how much are the customers allowed to be involved with the build process? Do you let them come over here and drink a coffee and talk about the build and stuff like that? Yeah,
of course. But a lot of customers I never seen. So especially the last years. more and more people contact me via email or phone call, and they tell me the specs, color, what kind of wood, so, and if they have questions about pickups or how can I get this or that sound, I can help them, and then they buy it. And I never see these guys, you know.
Yeah.
That's strange a little bit, but yeah, okay.
Yeah, I almost think it would be the coolest thing if the price of the guitar includes a plane ticket, so they come to Karlsruhe, and when it's finished, they
They are
come over
pretty
here,
welcome,
and then
yeah.
they open the case, and you
Yeah.
get to see that reaction as they open it for the first time.
That happens also sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah, because I think that would be pretty nice.
But yeah, it's difficult to come over here when you I don't know, located in the States or in Sweden or wherever. Yeah. But yeah, it happens.
Yeah. Talking of international, you were also telling me that up until a few years ago, it was mostly German people ordering your guitars, but now it's opened up and you do get people from different countries ordering as well. Yeah.
Yeah, more and more in Europe. I even sold guitars outside Germany also before, but the last years it's spreading the word all over the world, and so yeah, I have customers in around Europe, Asia, in Japan, for example, and now it's the first request from the US. So yeah.
I wonder if lots of those international people came across you because of the 42 Gear Street event. I mean, that was when I first personally heard of Tonfuchs. Yeah. I was there with my day job for one of the other companies, and we got to play the guitars. And I think on that event in 2019, so many videos were made featuring the Tonfuchs guitars that it really helped to spread the message of the brand out internationally as well.
Yeah, I think so. What also have been a big door opener was that documentary. So I think everybody in Germany who's related with or into guitars knows that. And it didn't change my work or my the way I work. But you're well known because you heard Tonfuchs. Okay, I know it's this guy, and yeah. And also these things with 42 Gear Street, or some other YouTubers that we work with, like you or Eirik or the other guys. Yeah, helps a lot.
Yeah, no, that's cool. Let's go back to the custom guitars thing then. I've always been interested in how you, as the luthier, approach people when they ask you for crazy stuff. I mean, when someone comes to you with a custom guitar order, I think they want exactly what they want. Does it sometimes happen that you tell them, this is a bad idea, your idea is not going to work? How do they react to that, and how does it work out?
It's a funny thing because, for example, a guy called me for a new guitar, and he wanted what was it? A Charlie Christian in the neck. He wanted a Lovecaster, a Teles style guitar, with a Charlie Christian in the neck position and something weird in the bridge position. But he told me about sound, and I said, okay, but these are completely it's completely different to the pickups you told me. So forget about it. You have to. The Charlie Christian is a pretty nice pickup. I can do it for you, but don't expect that sound that you told me. And the most people are thankful for my let's say knowledge, or they appreciate my tips or my the way we work together. So. Nobody's angry about when I say it's bullshit what you want from me.
Yeah. So it never happened that someone had their dream in mind and you told them, this dream, is not a reality, we can't make this, and they got pissed off and never did anything with you again?
I always try to find a midway, you know, if it's possible. But some things don't work together in that way. The people think they could, and I have to say it because I know how my models work, and I know how I have to combine the woods and the hardware and the construction and everything to get a specific result. And if somebody wants something extraordinary, and I know that it don't work with this sound wishes, I have to tell him, because when you get your custom-made guitar and you want to play funk, but you have a swampy whatever sound, so you're fucked up, and it's better to tell it before than a disappointed customer. So
yeah, sure. Yeah.
I don't care about dreams. I have to be realistic. So what can I do, and what is the customer looking for? Sometimes there's a difference between. So, but it's better to tell it's better to. Yeah, before you build a guitar, I have to say what happens when I do this and that. Yeah. And if it don't work, it makes absolutely sense to tell these guys before, yes, it works, or no, it don't work.
Yeah, sure. And be honest with them now to save disappointment later. Yeah, sure. Yeah. So what was maybe the craziest or the most unusual custom guitar idea that came to you?
I had a guy from France, and he wanted something full with electronic. So he came up with a plan, and he got what he wanted to have inside the guitar. It was a piezo bridge. It was a sustainer combined with a mini, with a what was it? It's a rail. Seymour Duncan. The
P-rail.
Yeah, P-rail, something like this, but combined in a frame, in a humbucker frame. Mm-hmm. A humbucker at the bridge position. He got inside. At the frames, he got frames with mini switches, so you can do coil tap, all that stuff with inside the frame, you know, with the mini switch. He got the sustainer inside. He got from Lee Jackson, you know, this amp guy. He made amps for Ampeg, I guess. A fuzz. What else? A battery control with LEDs. I don't know what else, but it was completely full of cables and electronics and all that stuff. So yeah, that was really crazy.
And it worked? That guitar exists?
It worked, but he came up with 2 weeks later, he gave me a phone call and said, "Hey dude, something don't work." And I said, "Oh my God, no," because you open the electric cavity, and it was 3 times bigger than this, and it was full. So you have to, when you go in holidays and you have to close your was a coffer, the case, yeah. And full of cables and electronic. And I said, okay, where can I start? It's impossible to find the problem, you know. But we fixed it, and I said, hey, don't touch it, don't open it, leave it like it is. And if it works, I'm pretty happy, and I hope to see you never again with this guitar.
And since then, you never saw him again?
No.
Good.
No.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Are there any pictures of that guitar? I would love to see some pictures of that.
I have.
Or hear it,
I guess.
if he has videos.
There's a there's a I have no video, but just a short video, because he had, I forget about this, he had that chaos pad.
Oh, the Chaos Pad as well, like Matt Bellamy from Muse always uses. Okay, wow, that's an interesting guitar.
Yeah, it was full of electronic, I tell you.
How much wire was in that? Must have been a lot.
20, 30 meters, I don't know.
That's a lot of wire. Yeah. Wow.
Yes.
But he had a pretty unique vision for what he wanted to achieve with that guitar.
Yes, and he knew it pretty concretely. He said, I want this and this and this. And he got also, he's a clever guy. He's I don't know what's his job, but he's not an electronic guy, but he knows a lot. And so I said, okay, if you prepared everything, we can maybe we can realize it together. But at this time, I worked in another company together with some guys who are repairing amps and doing modifications in electronic. So it was good to have the support from them. Because it was so a complex thing that I'm alone. I've never could have done this.
Yeah.
But it worked. Yeah.
Yeah. That's fascinating.
Yeah, and pictures. I think I have something on my website. I'm not sure.
Oh, cool! I'll check it out.
Yeah.
Maybe you can send me some.
Yeah,
maybe I
on
can
Instagram I have
blend
one
them in.
picture from
Okay.
the opened
The
cavity,
insides.
yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like a horror movie or something.
It was yeah. For me, it was really. It's pretty. It was my like a nightmare.
Yeah.
And I was sweating a lot and during that process. And if it was finished, I said yes. Now I can do a party, because it was pain in the ass.
Yeah. I think for me personally, I never ordered a custom guitar. Well, partly because of money, but partly also because for me, I've always enjoyed standard guitars more. Mm-hmm. Like for me, Telecaster's been the model of choice for me for most of my playing time. And if I find a decent single coil in the bridge and then a splittable humbucker in the neck, I'm good. So I wouldn't need a custom guitar made. But it's an interesting question, Maybe I do.
Yeah, so if you play Tele, maybe you're well equipped with the standard things that are available on the market, because it's not only Fender or whatever. It depends on how much money you want to spend, of course. But this custom thing is mostly, it's not, I do only my shapes. So customizing is mostly something about colors, wood combinations, if you use a plain maple, or do I have to, or do I want to have a flamed maple neck, or a regular flamed or pawn flamed, whatever, pickups. Of course, when you one customer wanted to have some racing stripes on it. The most custom things I have to do is a cosmetical thing.
Yeah.
Because the most people are not into that wood thing. What's the best for me? Mahogany, or alder, whatever. What would you say? So most people ask me about what would you use, and I ask them, what do you want to play with it, and so I can tell you what would be in my mind the best for you.
So it's like a lot of it for those guys is about the inspiration factor, what it looks like, and it's, I guess for them
also the sound, of course.
But they rely on you to help with the sound, right? You tell me, you advise the guys on maybe the pickups they might need, and also the tone woods that they would need.
Yes.
So actually that makes total sense from my perspective. Now I understand it a bit more, because the quality is also part of the question, right? I mean, a mass-produced Telecaster, sure, you can go up to custom shop levels there, but here I can specify every single aspect of the
Yes,
build as
yes,
well, and I know that I'm going to get something which is 100%. Plus, I can go for the colors. I mean, I can tell you, I waited maybe 3 or 4 years to find a standard Fender Telecaster which came in the colorway that I wanted, with the pickups that I wanted, and with a rosewood board.
Yeah.
Actually, in the end, it was not exactly what I wanted. I was looking for ages for a Lake Placid Blue or similar with a rosewood board, and they just didn't do it for
Because,
years and years and
they-
years.
yeah, for years
It's
they-
always with maple,
with maple
right?
neck, yeah.
And finally, in 2014, they did a Fender special run with some satin finishes, and I got one which is in ocean blue candy, which is not quite Lake Placid blue. It's a little bit more of a royal blue almost, but
Yeah,
satin and
it's
beautiful,
darker.
and yeah, on the rosewood board, and that was what I wanted, and that was the inspiration for me, you know. You know, the craziest thing I ever heard of this wise, guitar inspiration wise, is that some guys even spec guitars based on what drink cans look like. And I've never met a guy like that, of course, but
Yeah, me too, but
that would be crazy. Just saying. Yeah.
totally crazy.
Yeah, exactly.
But anyway, and you know what? He wants to have not a toggle or a switch, a three-way switch. He want to have a blend porty, like you use it in a bass guitar, with a you know.
That explains a lot.
Yes, and he talked to some guys we both know very well, and they said that's completely bullshit. But on Monday, I've had a customer here, and he's playing for a well-known German artist, and he's really a professional, and he wants the same. So
Really?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So it's a genuine thing.
So that's the thing. I've never thought about it, but when you have, for example, a Les Paul with 2 volume knobs, you can also make a mix between the neck and the bridge position. So
Yeah,
it
you
could
can
be,
blend. Yeah.
That could be nice.
Yeah, I suppose it could work.
Mhm.
Well, we'll wait and see on that front, I guess. That's going to be a very interesting project.
Yeah.
But let's just finish on you telling me why Tonfuchs. For all the people out there who may be watching this, just tell them why Tonfuchs.
Because why Tonfuchs? If you're into nice guitars, you have to like what I do, of course, in the visual way. But then the main goal, it's not only Tonfuchs, also some other small brands got this advantage. I select every piece of wood for every guitar. I know some people think it doesn't affect to the sound because it's an electric guitar, but anyway, every guitar is made from the beginning to the end by one guy, and every little detail is made in 100% way. So for me, it doesn't make so it's not a short explanation why Tonfuchs, because it's the coolest guitar on earth, and it plays well, and it lasts forever, and you will have a lot of fun even in 30 years.
Yeah.
And if you have a problem ever, like the guy I called before, send it to me and I fix it. So it's no problem. You know where it comes from.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little bit like guitar making. In the way I do it, it's like cooking. If you have some decent things to put in the meal, maybe a tomato that tastes like a tomato, or a good piece of meat, and you treat it very well in the way to save the vitamins and whatever, you know, it will be a healthy and a good meal for you. And you can decide between McDonald's or
Gourmet.
slow cooking. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes total sense. And now I'm also very hungry.
Yeah.
So, Uwe, thank you so much for taking the
to thank
time, letting me come into your workshop and talk to you and ask silly questions about your wonderful guitars. Yeah.
Thank you for being here.
Yeah, and to everybody who hasn't seen the little review of the Dyna I did, there's also a link down there. You can see me playing some stuff on that, explaining a little bit more about the guitar and a little bit more about the company. Hopefully in the future we'll have the chance to maybe do something else again. Maybe I'll come back for another chat. Maybe
Hopefully, yeah.
we'll do something else. We're not that far away, and hey, maybe once I hit 1 million subscribers, I can maybe afford to talk about my own custom wishes with you if either of us is still alive
maybe
at that point. But we shall see. I've been Rich from Rich Words and Music. Thanks for watching, and I shall see you in the next video. Bye for now.